Hello everybody. We just completed with the first introductory session where we discuss about the innate and adaptive immunity, and we have also seen the different body organs involved in the defense mechanisms. We have also seen that what are the different immunity that affects the invasions by different microbes or the foreign particles. So here in this presentation, once more we are going to look at those details of how the immunity is being categorized, and what are the different immunity scenes in different parts of the body. Basically, we are going to look at that how immune system works in 3 different layers. Okay, then let's start with the first slides. This is a good question that we have to ask today. COVID-19, a killer virus. A good example for begin our lessons, immunology and microbiology. What do people talk about right now? What is the disease? People always talk about what is the disease and how it causes, how the people are killed. So when we say what is the disease and what causes people to die, this is people wanting to know about what infected and how it's been infected and what is the causative agent. Now people always look for easy way to overcome these infections. So people ask, what do we do? How do we overcome this kind of infection? So putting masks, washing hands, and many others. So these are the ways people thinking about even going for exercising. This is to develop. Sorry, please don't misunderstand. Here we are thinking about how do you do an exercise, what do we eat. It's all about enhancing our immunity. So what we eat and what we do is directly proportional to how our immune system is boosted. Is there any medicines for cure? People often ask this and then say no. So this is called there is some vaccines available, and so that people will be in peace. But more than this is if you have a good immune response, and that if you have a good immune system in your body, you don't have to worry about even this virus. COVID-19 would get scared of our immune system. Presentations, prevention. Sorry, this is not a presentation. Okay, prevention. Prevention. Now, today people try to put masks. They try to hide inside, or sorry, they try to remain within the house, confined inside the home. Avoid crowding and do a lot of exercise. These are all for prevention. So these are, so when you say about immunology and microbiology, microbes can be easily be avoided by boosting our own immune system. So today we are in this slide we are going to look at detail about what are different immune system, and what are the immunities, what are different types of immunities found in our body. Alright, introduction to the immunity. So immunity refers to a resistance exhibited by the host towards the injury caused by the microorganisms and their products. So this is just our body is giving resistance to those germs or the microbe that enters to our body. Now these based on their nature, these immunity is being divided into 2: innate immunity or the native immunity, because certain immunities are we are born with, we have an inborn quality where we have the power to overcome certain germs and disease, whereas acquired or the adaptive immunity is acquired during the life process. When you are born till death, our body try to get experience and exposure, and that is called acquired immunity. So there are two types. This has been already discussed, some details in the first slide as well. Now, basic classification of immunity is immunity as a whole. Our body has an immunity. So there are two types, as I said: innate or inborn immunity, adaptive immunity. So adaptive is natural or artificial. In natural is, we are born in an open air without any filter. So which means we are exposed to a natural environment with lot of germs, lot of external pollutants. So such exposure leads to natural immunity. Okay, natural adaptive immunity, meaning children or any infant born would get directly exposure to the natural conditions or the germs, and such immunity are called natural adaptive immunity. Natural immunity, again, there can be two. Natural immunity, one is natural immunity can be obtained from the mother's milk, and that is called passive, because the child is getting directly the some chemicals which will help their body to build on or resist against the germ, and that is called passive immunity. Whereas adaptive immunity is when child is being exposed to certain virus like a chicken pox or the BCG, okay, Bacillus calmette-grams, TB bacteria. These are exposed when child is exposed by naturally, and this kind of resistance, when the child is being exposed, gain experience and produce certain chemicals within the body to fight against such germs, and that is called natural active immunity. Now adaptive immunity, other side, is an artificial. Artificial is if our body is not able to fight against the disease, then we go to hospital, get these the antibiotics and medicines, and that is called artificial, passive immunity. We are totally dependent on the medicines because our body is not able to do anything. Artificial active active is artificial, and active immunity is immunization. Sometimes instead of providing you the medicine, they try to provide you with the immunization or the vaccine. That's why the child, when they are born, they are being injected with the vaccine, and this vaccine is called immunization because child will become immune with the particular virus once they were given this injection, because child's body will experience the particular germ when the injection is given. Because injection itself is sometimes it can be if it is a TB BCG vaccine, then it is a TB germs is being put into the body of the child. So the child gets fever for over 24 hours, and next day child will be all right, meaning child body has become immune to such kind of germs. So now I have explained you almost a detail, so I need not have to go such a detail later. All right, this is very important. Okay, then we go to next one. Yeah, I'm sorry you may not be able to see so neatly, but however there is an innate and adaptive immunity. Once more to show you the cellular differences between adaptive and innate immunity. This is innate. The microbes enter into the body through the epithelial cells and get into the blood vessels, and then ultimately there are natural killer cells and the complement proteins which act upon those microbes and destroy it. Whereas adaptive immunity, in the adaptive immunity, the microbes enter to the body, and from the body it will be enter to the cells. In the cells, B lymphocytes and T lymphocytes gets activated, and once these B cells gets activated, it produces antibody. This antibody acts on the germs, microbes, and it gets destroyed. So this is an indirect process. Here it is the cells directly goes and attack to the microbes and germs. Here in the adaptive, it has to activate the B cells. B cells produce certain chemicals. These chemicals attacks the germs, and this is called adaptive immunity. It takes quite a long time to get adapted, but an inborn one, it will be very easy to destroy the microbes. Therefore, people with the inborn immunity becomes much more stronger resistance to certain germs and disease. Okay, innate immunity, this is the same thing that is being discussed here, and I don't have to repeat because it's about the native immunity when you are born with a certain potence or the potency of the immunes in your body. And which kind of peoples have the stronger immunity is, you can say this is being classified based on the species, race and individual. Some of the species are very much resistant to particular group of germs or the pathogens. This is because those pathogens that that infects the animals do not infect normally to the human being, and this is called species level. Racial immunity. Some races like Negroid are more immune to the TB than Caucasians, meaning these white peoples are more prone to TB than Negro people. This is inborn quality, inborn nature has given them a stronger immune system. Individual in the individuals, in the event of individual to study degree of resistance or the susceptibility to TB or leprosy, similar degree, meaning here two individuals born together as a twin will have a almost equal potentials or the quality or the immunity to resist the infection by the germs. Okay, then what are the factors that influence the innate immunity? One is the age. If you are young, if you are old age, obviously we will have more infections. And another is if you have the problem with some of the organs that produce different hormones that can control our body, that provides resistance to our body, would also affect. So hormonal level, it does matter. So people with the aging people will have lesser hormones, and therefore they are more chance of infections. Third one is nutrition. Better food, good quality food would always give boosting to your immune system. All right, now so we talked about what are the factors. We also know different types of immune system. Now what are the different layers of defense system on our body? Skin is a one layer. First external barrier is skin. You have the snout, you have the saliva, you have the urine, likewise you have the body sweat. These are external, all right? It doesn't allow actually to microbe to get inside. Defense, second layer of defense is there are, once something gets into your body, you have seen that that body part will get swelled up, and it becomes a bulge, and finally the pus will be formed. And this is all happens because there are many cells who comes there and destroy those microbes which enter into the cells, and finally it itself gets killed there. So that is second layer. Third layer is lymphocyte cells, which will be proliferates and defends the body, and this is the third layer, and they are very specific for very particular germs. All right, the defense, first line of defense and the second line of defense. I'm going to complete these two, first line and second line of defense here. In the first line, we consider skin, mucus, and urine, any other things that is outside our body is the first layer of defense. Skin, mucus, and any other that will prevent the entry of microbes. Second layer is antimicrobial, like protein, phagocytes, and other cells. Proteins are we are going to see very soon which are the protein involved. We are also going to see the phagocyte cells, which are the one who destroys very directly, and the other cells like there are natural killer cell. So these are some of the second defense layer. These, if in case these germs enter via skin and reaches to the inside, these will act upon it. So this is second layer. So these microbes who is entering into our body need to enter through different layers of defense. So the mechanisms of innate immunity, it has got epithelial surface layer which will protect. Antibacterial substance is all the time produced like a sweat which has got antibacterial substance that will harm the microbes. Microbial antagonisms. Microbial antagonism is those microbials that grow inside our body will also act against those which enter from outside. So that will prevent the further colonization of harmful bacteria. The cellular factors and innate factors, these are, we are talking about those phagocytes, neutrophils. Then inflammations. Inflammation happens, you know, that any part of the cells, part of our body gets infected, it swells, becomes painful and becomes reddish, and finally it produces a pulse and ultimately it gets destroyed, and this is called inflammations. And during this inflammation, person gets even fever, and there are a lot of acute proteins which will accumulate around the body. So during fever, person becomes even smelly because of these production of these acute phase protein. So person who suffer from this kind of infections would have some smell because of the excessive production of this acute phase protein. Now okay, these are the little bit detail, but however I have already completed that. No, on the skin what things are present, on the mucosal layer what things are present, and how we try to defend those microbes entry into our body. And on your mouth what things are present, on your conjunctivitis, on your face, sorry, on your eyes, what do you have and how it being prevented. So please go through each one. Urine, how it helps, even the sperms also helps to actually kill the germs entering through those openings. The antibacterial substance like you know, the beta lysins, these are again some of the chemicals that are present within our body that helps to destroy the bacterials or the virus or the pathogens. Now microbial antagonisms is the flora that grows within our body and that helps to prevent the harmful germs growing into our body. Cellular factors, now those are, as I said to you, phagocytic cells which are very active in destroying those the foreign particles. Similarly, natural killer cells, which is also another group of cells who are actively involved in destroying. This is the process how it happens. Germs enter in, and from outside there are a lot of natural killer cells, phagocytic cells act upon and then destroy, and then it exits. The inflammations, which I said to you, inflammations is where you will see the once the bacteria enters in, a lot of cells like natural killer cells, phagocytic cells and the other proteins, they gather and act upon those foreign particles, destroy it. So during those process, because of the accumulation of large number of cells, the particular regions get swells up, and also these your body will have a higher temperature, and during this time your body also have a little more smell because of these proteins called interferons. This is what happens. You just look at this. Initially the nail has pricked and bacteria has got in this region, knew that there is some infection, so all those macrophages, natural killer cells and protein all comes around, and then it try to destroy that region. See that how the swelling has occurred here, and this time the person will have a high fever. Okay, then taking to the acute phase protein, these are some of the protein that includes that are produced. This protein has a direct effect on the entry of the germs. If the germs has entered, the person will start producing more and more of this protein. So this is also one indicator where person is being infected by certain germs. Okay, so these has got a certain role to either activate or to communicate or transfer the message. Normally the protein itself do not destroy the foreign particle, but it takes the role to communicate, transport message, or acts especially for cascading the message from one cell to another. Interference, again, interference is the very active protein when the virus has gone into the body. So difference between these the acute phase protein and then interferon is seen only when the virus has attacked. Please note, only if the virus has attacked there will be interferon, and rest of the time it is acute phase protein. Okay, this is how the interferons act on, and then if one cells get infected and the neighboring cell as well gets infected. But however, these particular group of cells will produce certain protein which will inform the neighboring cells, and the neighboring cell will try to resist. See there, this is how it try to resist. This bacteria is getting here, is being blocked to enter further. So this is the how work of the interferons. These are the interferons which comes to the cells. In the cells is being informed, and there is a resistance is being produced by the cells before it gets infected. Now there are complementary protein. These all the complementary proteins are for bacterials. So there are many as 20 different proteins are acted upon this and brings a control of proliferations of bacteria in our body. And there is also called C-reactive proteins is again so just I'm trying to read out some of the proteins like acute phase protein, interferons, complementary protein, and C-reactive proteins. These are the proteins which are very active during the infections, and they try to cascade the information from one cell to another. The function of C-reactive protein is also the same as I said. It is just for bringing activations of different cells. Finally, I would like to thank you, but prior to that you need to think about these questions. What are the differences? What are the different layers of defense mechanisms? What are the different parts of the cells involved in the defense cells? What are the different cells involved in the defense of immune system? And what are the different organs involved in the first defense layer? And what are the different cells in the second defense layer? Here this is a first defense layer and the second defense layer. What are the organs present in the second defense layer? Differentiate between innate and active immunity. So these are the questions. Please try to understand, read those slides, and also please listen to what I said to you and try to answer these questions by yourself. I hope this will help you. If there are questions, always keep it with you, and then when there is a conference we will have a better discussions and clarify all the doubts. Thank you.